What's going on, everybody? Sammy from Man here, bringing you another podcast. It's the Early Access Cast. We're on episode 5, and I'm so glad we're getting to this big milestone of our 5th show. Now, I've got the regular guys here. I've got Edward. He's back, and he's big, he's bold. He's got a new channel. I'm going to let him tell everyone all about it. And we've got Harley McDaniels from Harley McDaniel on YouTube, Harley McDaniel 1 on Twitter. We're all here. One say hello, guys.
Hello.
So how was your holiday, Edward? How did you like it?
Oh man, I think I fall in love with the Spanish. You might not give me back next time. They're something special. Yeah, it was amazing over there. It was the whole Lent celebration, so it was fiestas and celebrations and carnival going everywhere. It was absolutely amazing. So it's good to be back though. I did miss you guys last week, and I hope you didn't miss me too much.
I'll miss you more than you'd ever know, Ed.
How
you doing, Harley? How you keeping all right, buddy?
Yeah, I've been fine. It's going good.
Short and sweet.
Yep.
Don't be going into too much depth there, Harley. Don't go into too much depth.
My week was really busy. I didn't have time for much gaming, so unfortunately.
Madness.
Nope.
You're letting us down there, Harley. We're meant to be hardcore gamers, and you didn't have time.
I'm a hardcore gamer. Sometimes I just don't have time to do things, you know?
Oh, well, we'll forgive you just this once, all right? But you need to get Titanfall. As that is a crucial part of your mission this week. You need to acquire that game.
I will get Titanfall eventually.
Okay, we can forgive you. Okay. What's been going on with you then, Sam, while I've been gone?
Nothing, not too much. I've been trying to get videos out. It's harder uploading once a day than I originally thought, but I'm getting a good 6 videos a week out, and they're all progressing in quality, as you can tell. Hopefully this podcast, the audio's getting better and better, and that's what we want to see. So definitely I'm working hard at this YouTube thing, and hopefully it works out and I get a good set of skills behind me. So
no, definitely. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, to be honest, it's hard work, and it's starting to be like a bit of an addiction now. I'm trying to get better, and I'm glad that I started doing it. And ever since my lowly vlog days, where it was just me in front of an iPad, now I'm creating all different type of content, and it's looking decent, if I say so myself.
No, it's brilliant. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on your channel as it's been growing, and definitely quality is getting pretty awesome. I'm struggling to keep up. I'm a little bit ashamed.
Yeah, we'll all work together and we'll fix that, Eddie. So, Ed, do you want to just tell us about your rebranding? What's going on with your channel?
Well, you see, I'm Freezer Crowd originally, aren't I? So that would insinuate that there's 3 of me on my channel, or 3 of us on my channel. Sorry.
You're a very large man.
Oh, I'm a very large man. I'm 3 people's worth, but no, unfortunately the other 2 of my crew aren't going to be appearing anytime soon, so I figured let's drop that brand for the future and let's get working on my content. And so I'm starting to produce my own individual work, which will be under my name, and then when I get extra people on board, I'll start releasing onto that channel again. But right now I'm focusing on my work and establishing myself as an uploader. So it's new territory, and I'm trying to branch out into different areas, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's quite exciting. And hopefully, as this week progresses, things will start appearing and things will start to happen and things will come into motion. So I'm quite excited, but I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone listening to this, if you like Ed, just check his new channels down below in the description. So definitely go and check him out. Give him a little. It's
pretty sweet. It's youtube.com/user/The Edrickson.
Keeping the
exactly the Edrickson.
Oh yeah.
As the one and only. So I think it's pretty sexy. I'm quite liking that. So I'm pretty excited.
What have you been doing this week?
Oh, well, a combination of sod and all, and possibly quite a lot of gaming. I've recently got back into DayZ. I've realised you get DayZ Commander, so I've finally worked out why my game's not been working for the best part of a year. So that was awesome, so I've got back into that. But also been playing a lot of Gary's Mod, Prop Hunt, and Triple Terrace Town. Minecraft. I've been back onto Minecraft this week, which was a nice surprise. Playing on the mini games on that, and I was also playing on. What was I playing on? I just told you what I was playing on. Monaco. yes, I'm getting a Let's Play of Monaco together, which is going to be pretty awesome. It's a fantastic little game, and I'm quite excited to be playing that. So it's been quite a variation of things, a combination between indie games. I've also produced a review of the top 5 indie games of the week on a different channel. So I've been playing quite a few different games on that. Most mentionable would be The Sun Does Not Exist and Train Song, both incredibly weird and slightly warped and twisted games, but fantastic in their own way, for their own reasons and their own originality. So a lot of things been going on this week, and it's taken a while to process it all.
What you said about DayZ Commander's absolutely true. It's so hard to install all the mods you need without the commander, and once you get it, you're pretty much set. Like, I know we're planning on getting on some DayZ, and it's been brilliant.
No, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's nice, and hopefully, assuming we can get back into it, we can get Harley into it as well. That'd be pretty sweet.
Woo!
Awesome. So I know you haven't been playing a lot of games, Harley, but what you been playing, dude?
A lot of Skyrim and Fallout, trying to get those uploaded, and making better thumbnails. Actually, I figured out how to use a program that I've been using. Actually, use it correctly. So it help. I find that it helps when you use the program correctly, when you're trying to do something. But that's really it. Like I said, I haven't had much time for anything. So what have you been up to, Sam?
Well, as Ed said, we've been hitting DayZ. I've been hitting it a little bit harder than Ed, but I've been enjoying it. But loads of stuff, I've just been buying loads of little things, and now all these things are adding up, to be honest. But even like little things like the GTA bundle has went on sale. It was about 80% off, so I ended up getting a good few GTA games for about £8, which was awesome. And I've been playing a bit of that, and I'm going to try and upload a little bit of GTA content. I've been playing all stuff, been playing the old favourite Spelunky, and we've been playing Titanfall as well, which we're going to be talking about soon, and I am so happy about this game. This game is just awesome. So let's move into the topics and let's talk about it. Ed, what do you think of Titanfall?
Is it legal to marry a video game?
Only if they're consenting.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure I've got her consent. Yes, I think I'm going to have a long life, very long, happy life with Titanfall. I haven't got off her all day, really. I've been all over her, and she's loved it, and I've loved it, and it's been absolutely amazing.
Honestly, the Titanfall is everything I wanted and needed it to be. I always thought, like everyone did, with Titanfall being a Call of Duty kind of game, and it's totally not that. I think it's so far apart from Call of Duty, and I'm so happy, but also I'm getting back into the first person shooters now, and I really enjoy it, to the point of where I enjoyed Battlefield, but it was more about traversing the map, getting strategic points, then battling away with other people. But the pace of Titanfall and the actual movement is, I have never played a game like it. So I've got the best of both worlds. I get to traverse a big map, I get to go where I want to be, and I'll get the gun battles that I love, because I like being more skilled than my opponents. And to be honest, that's why I play games like that for, because I want to feel like I am a very skilled player, and it's making me feel that, whether I am or not. It's making me feel that, and we are winning the majority of our games. So
yeah, it was pretty sweet, because we were finishing top of our leaderboards, and we were winning most of the games. It was usually Samith Man and Edrickson, or Edrickson, Samith Man, top of the leaderboard, and it was pretty sweet. And that's what I love about it. It is such a, as you say, it's a fast-paced, it's a fluid game. Everything blends together really nicely. It might be first person, but you're able to just transverse the terrain up and scale these buildings and various locations, just in such quick speed, and it's beautifully fluid, and I think it's fantastically well done. And it's a huge credit to first person shooters, and it's it will be a very strong title, and I think it'll give definitely Xbox One a strong position back onto the console market. It's a fantastic game, and it's a huge credit to the developers for producing what they've produced. it's incredible. It really is.
And you can't get across how fluid it is. The fact of, yes, when you first start playing it, you're not the best at moving around because you don't understand how the game works. But now, if I run onto a street, I know where I can jump and run along walls. But if I run onto an alley, I know that there's no point me being on the ground. I jump and dart around, and by the time I come out the end of that alley, I'm going double the speed I can run at, and I know exactly where I'm going from then. It's not just you linear, you go from point A to point B. There's not even a point A to point C. There's not enough letters in the alphabet to speak about how you can move around. You are always on the move. You're always looking for the next place to go, the best strategic point. You need to look at and find people are coming from you, and that's the best thing because of all these different agile characters that you have in the game. There's far less campers, and that's a great thing. You might get the odd guy surprising you from behind, but you just deal with it, and you can always outskill your opponent, which is great.
No, you're spot on there. But when you said how fast paced it is, and you don't ever stop moving, and that's what I love about it. As everyone was concerned about the 6 versus 6, I don't think you could honestly have it any larger. The amount of Titans that are running around at certain points in that game, having any more than 6 would be ludicrous, and I think it would kill the gameplay. I think they've got it spot on with the amount of players that they have per team, and there's that much going on. You've got all the grunts, the minions running around, and you've got the pilots and the Titans. It's effectively a potential 12v12 game going on. There's that much happening. There's objectives, and there's bits going on in the background. The attention to detail, it's the image. The screen is so dense with action. It kind of overwhelms you a little bit, and you just get immersed in this universe. It's this world, and I think it's done fantastically. And you are spot on with that. It's so fast, and the game is always moving. It's never quiet. It's never still, and I think that's what I love about it. It's exciting.
And they've definitely got the whole balance right now, that you are so fast and agile as a pilot, but once you get into your Titan, you've got the armor, you're secure in your position, you know what you should be doing, you know how to move around. Yes, you're not as quick, you're not as agile, but you're powerful. And if a pilot just comes on head first against a Titan, they have no chance because of how powerful you are. So it's up to
I'm going to override. I'm going to overrule you on that one. Yes, if you take them head on, you're pretty much in a bit of a pickle. And if they've got the dispersion cloud, the electric cloud that goes around them, then you're pretty screwed. But actually, if you get on the back of that Titan, you are you're a blooming hornet. You will annihilate the Titan. They've got to literally get out to fight you off, because you do a lot of damage. So they're not overpowered to the point where they can't be killed, and that's what I love about it. Yes, they are formidable opponents, but they're not invincible, and genuine pilots can take them down. They're a massive power boost, but they do have weaknesses. They do have flaws. They're not godly killing machines, but they are. But they're not invulnerable, and that's an important bit. And I think that's what helps the gameplay not to break down, and I hope it keeps it its pace, is that they're not invincible. They are weak from behind and from being jumped on with rodeo. And I think that's a really important aspect they put into the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's up to the pilots to plan your attack. There's no point going straight in. You've got to decide how you're going to tackle this Titan, whether you tackle him from the side, from behind, jump on top of him, or, which I've found myself doing plenty of times, leaving the Titan alone because of the game mode you're playing. The objective you need to get to is nowhere near this Titan, so there is no point tackling this Titan when it might take a long time. They might beat you if you don't need to, which is great. And even the weapons are very balanced. You don't see people just overpowering each other with weapons. Be it the smart pistol, yes, people on the surface it looks like the most overpowered weapon ever, and I really was scared about that. But once you actually start playing the game, it's absolutely fantastic for grunts and somewhat spectres. But against pilots, you have to be skilled to continuously kill other pilots with it, and that's what I love about the whole weapon balancing situation.
No, exactly. Yeah, each weapon has its pros and cons, and I think that they never put any of the weapons into a point where they were too powerful, and even if they were, they still always had that weakness. And I think that's again another really important aspect they've put into it. A lot of thought and consideration appears to have gone in to the design and the elements of all their weaponry. I mean, even things like the shotgun's incredibly powerful up close, but it's such a wide dispersion. It's quite inaccurate. The rate of fire and the way the bullets disperse is it's quite difficult to actually get from distance a hit. And so while it's really powerful, it's hard to get kills with it. Smart pistol, really powerful, but it's hard to kill pilots with it. And I think that's they've done that really well. They've obviously put a lot of time and effort into balancing out all the gameplay. I think that's brilliant.
Definitely. But so now moving on to the not so great side. Now, whatever I say, I love the game, and it's my favourite game I've played this year easily. But as of launch, whether they're gonna add stuff with DLC or however, it is quite shallow in the number of guns you get. Now, we're all used to our Call of Duty's battlefields where you're getting 20 to 30 weapons. On this, I'm sure there's about 9 primary weapons, 3 secondary weapons, 4 anti-tank weapons, and I understand you can get other stuff with the Titans, and you are kind of like one being where you can use the Titan and also the pilot. I do think they should have filled it out a bit more, got a bit more in there, maybe added a few more assault rifles. As right now I'm only really using 3 guns, and even one of those guns, which is a submachine gun, I only really use on one map because of how close it is.
No, exactly. But I found I was doing that in Black Ops in Call of Duty. I was picking weapons on the corners of the map. And that's how I played. And I do agree there's a distinct lack of diversity in terms of weaponry and all the different attachments and just abilities you get with the game. But then as I say, it's going to have DLC which will bring out more features for it, which part of me doesn't like, but then at the same time it would be nice to have some extra features coming out. But yeah, it does lack, and it has got things lacking in that department, which is a shame. But then I'm not going to really hold it against it too much, because what they produce is fantastic and it could definitely be improved, but I'm not going to fault it too heavily for the lack of weapons, because I hardly use any of the guns in Call of Duty. I only used a set few, and I think I would do the same in Titanfall, so it doesn't affect me too much. I just think it'd be nice to have a little bit more diversity for other people to have their own personal touch to what their loadouts will be.
Yeah, all I wish for the game. So in the next few updates, we get a couple of more game modes, where whatever it be. Even though the game modes there's 4 game modes, but
5
isn't one a variety pack.
No, the 5 are capture the flag, attrition, domination with all the hard points, and you got last Titan standing, and you got hunt the pilot essentially.
Oh,
and then you got a variety pack. So there's 5 core game modes.
So of those ones, I really like attrition, which is a team deathmatch kind of game, but it's also just you really are aiming to kill all the grunts and the spectres around.
Just kill.
And then
kill everything.
Hardpoint domination, which is your classic domination from Call of Duty, but mixed in with Titans and the agility of a fox/eagle. And then the last one that I really liked was capture the flag. Now,
that was mental.
Now,
it was
fantastic. Me being a Call of Duty player from years ago, no one ever played capture the flag. Now with this, it's amazing because of how you've got the Titans versus the pilots versus it's so good because there's so many opportunities to take of it. It's great, and I'd implore anyone, just go and grab the game and go and play it, and you will not be disappointed.
No, definitely. Anyway, So I think Harley's still part of this conversation somewhere. Harley, are you still alive?
I'm a ghost now.
Ghost
Ooh.
Clock.
Oh yeah, go watch that too.
Yeah, Harley's been working on some animations, Ghost Clock animations. Kind of remind me of the kind of the randomness of Asduff. But yeah, so he's been working on that. But anyways, Harley is still part of this conversation. And I kind of feel bad. I want to drag Harley back into this.
Thank you.
So I think Harley should have. What's Harley been doing? What's Harley been talking about? I think it'd be quite nice to get you to do a solo rant on something.
Okay. Here's my solo rant. That guy who made Flappy Bird, you know
cool,
that guy who
sorry, Flappy Birds, continue.
yeah, that horrible atrocity. There's been talk that he's bringing it back, which why would you do that?
Because I think I think he must have gone on some sort of mass spending spree. Because what was he doing? Taking in 10K an hour or something? Which was something ridiculous. He must have spent all his money on women and drugs and drink, and he's like, I need more money, women, drugs and drink, and he's gone back into it. So I think must have blown all his money. I don't know, but
he probably did. Money's easy to just spend away, but he might bring it back with like a warning that says, this is
may
like
cause addiction.
Yeah, and it is addicted. I was addicted to Flappy Bird for a long time. My high score was 83.
Ooh, that's not bad.
But he's bringing it back. And like you said, he probably did waste all of his money. And he just looking to make some more. So maybe he didn't, and he just wants to get back out there because he was receiving death threats when it was on the market, and he received death threats for taking it off the market. I don't think he can win in this.
Actually, that's a really good point. That will bring that back to something I want to talk about in terms of just the way people seem to get so worked up and hyped up about things and go to such ridiculous and ludicrous levels of obsession, and to the point where they are threatening people's lives over these things. I mean, I think that's a shame. I mean, he should be able to take it off or put it back on to his heart's content. It's his business. It's his creation.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, I successfully avoided the Flappy Bird craze.
Good job.
But I didn't escape the Flappy Bird MMO craze.
What?
That got me for a couple of hours. That was a long evening. I quite enjoyed that, just watching 100 people fail horrendously at Flappy Birds alongside me. So I didn't feel particularly bad. I was rubbish, but so was the rest of the world, and it was beautiful. I do recommend, if you get a chance just to play it for 5 minutes, just do it. It'll make you giggle horrendously. Just the initial shock of watching 100 Flappy Birds all pour into the same pipe and kill themselves. It's a thing of beauty. But
they also made someone made that one called like Squishy Bird or something where you controlled the pipes and you had to kill the birds.
Okay, that's not so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's brought it back, has he?
He might bring it back. He might not. I think he released something this year. He was saying he might, but if he does, good for him. Because I mean, I'd rather receive death threats and get money than receive death threats and not get money. So
yeah, exactly, because then you can at least pay for your own personal security force and
he can have
island and then take over the country and then the world.
He could hire a few mercenaries to guard him.
Oh, exactly. And that's what's important in the day,
Yeah, mercenaries.
Yeah, mercenaries to protect your island.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why wouldn't you want mercenaries? I would want a few.
The thing is, right, isn't the whole craze of Flappy Birds pretty much all over? Because if you think about it, it's very shallow gameplay. There's nothing really behind it. Yeah, there's a little bit of skill to impress now, but it was more of a craze. Like we all remember in school when me and Ed remember in school Pokemon cards came out. There was one craze with yo-yos coming back, and now it's pretty much. I remember there's a craze with it was like plastic string, and you had like. You tie it in a certain way at the top, so they all interloop a little. They're able to interloop, and only certain people could start it off for you. That was a point, and that was.
Are you on about Cat's Cradle?
I'm not sure. They were literally just 4 pieces of like elasticated plastic string. I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah, it sounds like Cat's Cradle. That was a weird thing. Yeah, I never really got into that. I was just too young, but I remember seeing it and playing around with the strings just for giggles. But I had no idea what was going on. But yeah, I'm sure it's called Cat's Cradle.
And you would
My
just weave
my
them
school
together.
started doing. Oh, sorry.
And you would just weave them together.
Yeah, and just read
Yeah.
together, and then people make things like the Eiffel Tower and stuff, and it was a major what the hell. I
So-
didn't quite understand it.
So I'm just saying, like, they're all just crazies, and I'm sure with the whole, because internet time is so different to real time, that I'm pretty sure that Flappy Bird is over. There's been so many clones. Why do we need it back? It's like, I understand, yeah, I think he regrets taking it down now, no matter how many death threats you're getting. Where he lives $50,000 a day, that's what I heard he was making. Is a lot of money, but I think he's I don't understand why he took it down, and maybe he should just cut his losses and go and buy a mansion and sleep.
You know what the most painfully annoying thing about the whole thing is? It's the fact that it can't have taken them long to make that game. It must have literally been, you could have got that done in a few days or something, maybe a few weeks. And, he's essentially set himself up for life. For a week's worth of work, he's got himself, he had a potential income for the rest of his life. He could have got all this money in, even if it lasted only a month with the craze. He would have accumulated so much wealth that, that's it. He could just go to a beach and live his days out in the sun. That's bloody annoying.
He's
What
already a
kind of event
millionaire.
that's- Hmm?
So I said he's already a millionaire.
Exactly. I mean, what if people in England are on 15k income for the whole of their lives? They barely even accumulate a fraction of that amount. He's done that in a few weeks. He could retire and that's it. His life's done.
We
He
should
could be
have
happy.
we should have come up with that, Ed.
God damn it, Harley! You better invent a time machine.
We got to make Flappy Bird.
We gotta go back in time. Make Flappy Birds.
Rather than
If I had a DeLorean and a flux capacitor, I would be back in time right now making Flappy Bird.
Would
saying.
you chip me in? Would you chip me in?
Yeah.
Just
We would all be the creators of Flappy Bird, and we would just make, and then
we could call it Flappy Sam.
what we could do, rather than creating Flappy Bird, we could just start selling time machines. I'm sure we'd make a lot more money.
Whoa, no, 'cause Sam, if you started saying time machines, then the timeline or the space-time continuum would shift and warp so many times. It would, literally, the world around you would just keep flicking, and every time it flicked, a new thing would appear and disappear. It would be
I
mental.
think the world would just explode. Probably.
Yeah, I think we would just be dead. So let's just keep the time machine to ourselves, all right?
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
We could. Hey, no, wait. We could sell the DeLorean though. Those are worth some money.
Well, there we go. That's our business plan. Flappy Sams and DeLoreans.
Yeah.
You're rich within a month.
So
We gotta make that. We gotta make Flappy Sam. That's gonna be a thing.
I think Edward's over there just dying. So after Ed's death, what I really want to talk about now, I've only just seen an article and it's really annoyed me. It's about Titanfall, but we've covered Titanfall. But it's the difference between PC gaming and how much better it looks than console gaming. Now, we understand that, yes, PC gaming can already do 4K. I'm sure people already have the power to do 4K in their rigs. But the amount of money that people put into PC gaming, it far outweighs console gaming. Now, I got my PC for the about same amount that I got my Xbox for, and the Xbox, yes, it's not as powerful, but my PC now, I actually need to upgrade it to make sure I'm fully safe and nothing's gonna burn out when I'm running 1080p 60 frames a second for 8-hour gaming sessions, because we all have them sessions where you wake up, it's 11 o'clock, and then next time you look at your phone, it's 4 o'clock and you need to rush off to work, because that's what happened.
You mean like today?
That's what happened today. So, and as much as I enjoy playing on my PC, I definitely sometimes do worry about, is it getting too hot? Has it been on too long? Should I give it a little rest? And when you do feel your PC and it's a little bit warm, you always got that sneaking suspicion that something could go wrong, which doesn't happen when you've got an Xbox One or a PS4, because you know that should be sound.
I can understand what you're on about, but I'm just going to throw this out there. You know, I am the environment's worst nightmare, but I do have my PC on for extreme hours of the day, and it's done all right. It's been going on she's been going for about just over a year and a half now. And you don't need to necessarily worry. I mean, I can understand not wanting to put through the stress and strain, but you know, if it's a good machine, a good solid machine, it should hopefully be all right.
Like, I hardly ever turn mine off. It's always on. And like, I play forever, but I mean, I've had like gaming sessions on the old consoles, PS3 and Xbox 360, and I mean, my PlayStation 3 is burnt out twice. I mean, I've had to replace it twice, but within a year of that I had them. But this PC, I've had it for over 2 years, and it hasn't even shown the slightest. Like, it hasn't even shown any signs of it's ever going to give out, which of course it will. Everything will. But I would have to say, Sam, I would kind of flip-flop that. I think that consoles are a bit more unstable than PCs, actually.
Well, the way I'm looking at it is I'm saying that. So what literally got me mad about it was I seen a picture of Titanfall on the Xbox One and then on the PC. Now, you've got to have not the best machine, but you've got to have a machine that costs more than an Xbox One to run Titanfall 1080p, 60 frames a second, everything on ultra settings. There is no way you're going to get that for the less than the price of Xbox One. And I think it's an unfair comparison for them to actually say, oh, look how rubbish it looks on the Xbox One, which includes a Kinect for the... It's even cheaper than £400 now. And then to say, oh, well, this PC that costs £800, £900 can run it on Ultra, and look how good that looks. Yeah, have you seen the photorealistic GTA 4 mod? Has anyone seen that?
No, what's this?
By the way, I'm not even going to even glorify how well I will, but just go on YouTube. You're on YouTube now, listeners. Just go and just put in photorealistic GTA 4. Just watch a video. It's this
after this video. Yeah.
After you've logged and subscribed. If you don't do that, you can't watch the video. It's a weird thing. It's just little YouTube anomaly.
Yeah, you have to subscribe.
YouTube's in league with us, are they?
Yeah, you have to subscribe.
So definitely, that is a photorealistic mod of GTA 4. Now, if you said, okay, that's fine, there's GTA 4, and then here's what it can look like on PC, bearing in mind that on PC, you're going to need a massively good computer to run this mod, but which will cost well in excess of £1,000. But this 360 costs £200, and look how rubbish it is. There's no fair comparison when you truly weigh them up, if you know what I mean.
No, I do. I've just typed into YouTube. I'm not going to watch it, but I was just seeing a quick flick of the thumbnails, and wow, that looks gorgeous. That can't be. I need to watch the video for myself.
Click it.
Okay, I'm just going to go a little bit quiet for a few seconds while I just
No.
watch.
I want to hear your reaction. Just explain to me what's going on.
Holy crap!
Well,
how is this possible?
What sorcery is this?
Yeah, what sorcery be this? How?
What annoys me is that people seem to be popping up all these annotations onto their YouTube videos, which you can't click through. If you click on the screen, the whole thing goes and links you to some other stupid website.
I don't use them in my videos. So, what you could do then, you could do the most unfair comparison of showing a 360 to a PC, because that is running on PC and the 360 can't do what it does, and it's an unfair comparison.
Okay, I wouldn't quite say photorealistic, but whatever I'm looking at right now is gorgeous. Hell, it just like blows everything out the water. It kind of reminds me of what Watch Dogs looked like in the first trailers it ever released. I mean, Watch Dogs seems to have lost a lot of its graphic touch since it was first announced in EA in 2012, but
I'm
yeah,
gonna
that's
I'm gonna say right now, Watch Dogs is gonna be a flop.
yeah, I think
I
it will be
think
as well.
so. Yeah.
I've watched it slowly deteriorate in terms of the gameplay quality. You see the graphic visuals just they're getting less and less crisp and clean, and
and how much
it's
gameplay have you actually seen?
well, questionably any, because we all saw how Colonial Marines turned out, went from amazingly gorgeous graphics and what was gameplay, and it's turned into what it turned out to be. So I really worry that Watch Dogs is going to do the same. Well, obviously not flop as bad as Colonial, but just not deliver.
Yeah, it's no way. I think it's gonna be the biggest disappointment this year, if it even makes it this year.
I don't think it's going to sell well at all.
No.
I'm not getting it, so.
I think it was sell well, but I don't think it'll be
True.
what it's meant to be because people are so hyped. The people are saying it's going to be amazing, and no way. So our next topic, it's more about Ed, and he's got a video coming up, and it's a really interesting concept. I'm going to let him talk about it. It's all about the adverse effects of YouTube, and it's better coming from him. So what's his video you got coming up, Ed?
It's not quite what I was going to be talking about. What I was going to actually be talking about is a video I'll be releasing hopefully within the next 24, 48 hours, which is actually looking at the unseen, or as Sam put it, the adverse effects of having a YouTube account, and what people don't seem to quite understand. I mean, I talk about people disliking videos. That's fine. Everyone has their own opinion, and at no point should we ever not let people have their own opinion of things. But it gets to the point where people don't seem to really consider the effects that their criticism have on the uploaders. I mean, the person that kind of was really brought it to my attention was a video by Boogie, but he was talking about Total Biscuit and how the amount of negative criticisms he gets, death threats and really horrible and ignorant things that have been thrown his way just because he criticizes games. That's his job. That was his hobby. It's become his job, and it's now become a chore, and it's making him ill. He's getting grey hair. He's getting overweight because he's eating so much, because he's so miserable. His hair's falling out, and it's just so much negativity being thrown his way just for doing what he's doing. And what I was talking about was how people aren't necessarily aware of those effects that it can have on people, but also the new channels that are springing up everywhere. They're wanting to get to the top of YouTube as well. They want to have their own spot in the limelight, and they don't quite realize that with reaching the top, you're going to be putting yourself in their sights, and they're going to take shots at you, and you're going to get a lot of abuse, and you need to be ready for when that does happen. Because if you get to the top and you start getting death threats, you start receiving such horrible and hateful comments, can you handle it? I mean, Sam, if say you got to the top, you say you got quite a lot of attention, you got 2,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, and some of them started saying to you, I'm going to find you, I'm going to kill you, you're rubbish, I think you're a horrible person. Do you honestly think you'd be able to put up with that, not just one day or 2 days, but day in, day out for months going on a year? Do you think you could honestly be able to live with such negative feedback being sent your way? I mean, some people can. Some people are very thick-skinned, but do you think you could?
It's a different context, but now I'm a fat lad. I'm a big guy, and it kind of wears you down. So I'm not getting all touchy-feely, but so
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm the way I am because I have chose the certain way I live and the way I eat, the way I exercise. I intake too many calories and I don't use them. So basically, it's my choice in the end of the day. Do I wish I wasn't as big as I was? Yeah, because that'd make it easier. But so I'm happy with me and myself. But it's when it's constant, it's when the problem is when people make jokes, people laugh, people talk all the time about you in a certain way. And I can totally understand how he's come to the situation he has become, and it's when it's relentless is the problem. And with the amount of subscribers and amount of interaction he gets, I can totally understand. And if I was getting that, could I handle it? I think
I don't think I could. I mean, that's something that I'm be very careful about when if I do continue this whole thing, because I don't think I'm ever going to show my face. I might do further down the line, but because I'm quite insecure as it is, and I have a lot of self doubt, and I question myself an awful lot. And if I got that kind of attention, that would do me no favors, and I think it would do an awful lot of damage to me and my self-esteem. And that's something I'm concerned about. If I do continue this, could I handle it? And I don't think I could. So I need to be very careful to safeguard what I do and what I produce and how I appear, so to minimize any potential damage in the future. I'm having to think about now, what effects it could have later on if I'm not careful. So it's automatically a hell of a lot to think about, and it's quite draining. I mean, the way they put it was it's like receiving 100 hugs, or you meet 100 people and you receive 99 hugs from the 100 people, but one out of the 100 slaps you across the face. You can have all those hugs, but you remember that one slap, and then you multiply that by 1 million, or how many views you get, and that's a lot of slaps, and that's a lot of hurt. And can you honestly handle it? I think it's an a side of YouTube people don't quite appreciate and understand, and I think it's quite a serious matter. That's why I'm kind of interested in it, and so that's why I'm going to kind of focus on it over the next week or so and see where it takes me. Because I wanted to have quite a light-hearted gaming channel. It appears I'm actually going to go into some serious topics at this rate, which isn't where I thought I'd end up. But I think it's a really important topic that's not been fully addressed, and you're starting to see some of the strain it's having as these big YouTubers, because these YouTubers are getting viewings that surpass that of massive TV networks in America. They're in the millions. PewDiePie probably gets a hell of a lot more viewings and attention than some TV networks. And a lot of those people ask, and they can interact. The viewers can talk to him. They can't talk to the TV, but they can talk to PewDiePie. And if they're saying every 5 seconds, "You're a horrible person, die, I hope you rot in hell," kind of thing, that's going to have a big psychological effect, regardless of your opinion of him. That's something that people don't seem to consider.
Yeah, and with me, I don't generally like videos, like click the like button. I don't generally click dislike. I may leave a comment here or there, but it's usually just something funny, or saying like, "Hey, did you see that? You clearly missed the objective," but it's not mean-spirited. I try not to do anything like that. Like, even my absolute favorite YouTuber, I watch all of his stuff. Sorry guys, it's Official Nerd Cubed.
Oh yeah, he was actually one of the people he was talking about. He was also talking on subreddit about this kind of thing and the abuse that sent his way.
Yeah, and I think it's just because I watch every video he puts out. But even his videos, I don't think I've only clicked like the like button once or twice on his entire channel, and I've watched every video. So yeah, and like he turned his comments off, and that's one thing. YouTube, I think, is partly to blame for it, because they screwed up their comment system so badly to start with. They kind of fixed it now, but remember when the negative comments would kind of go to the top because they would get the most replies? Remember hearing about that?
Yeah.
And that was just horrible. I don't know why YouTube decided that was a good idea. I'm glad they changed it.
No, I completely agree. But I think I don't want to ever say, comments should be policed a little bit to make sure that what's been put up there is being, responsible. Because that's impossible. There's that many comments, there's that many videos. It's impossible to do that. But at the same time, I just feel like, there is such... people are able to say just what they want, and sometimes it's so unconstructive, it's so destructive, and it has such horrible effects on people. Should there be a line? Should there be a limit? Should someone say something and put a stop to it? You can't. But at the same time, is that where we're going to end up going towards? Will comments be disabled permanently by YouTube because of the amount of abuse? Where's it going to go? Because this is quite serious. It's having a big effect on a lot of people, and I'm curious and I'm quite worried to see where it's going to end up.
So definitely guys, go and check that video up.
I really want new YouTubers to see it, just so that they can start thinking about not just down the line. They might only be thinking about a month ahead, 2 months ahead, or they might be thinking of all the stardom that comes with being a YouTuber. But at the same time, I don't think they're ever thinking about the abuse that's going to come their way, and if they're ready for it. Because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When will the abuse come their way? Because if they go up, they will get it, and I want them to be ready for it, and I want them to know it's going to happen. Because I didn't think about it, and so I want this video to get attention for the right reasons, and I want people to be aware, because I think it'll just help. And it's also nice to know that there's other people out there who are going through the same problems that you're going through. I think that's quite an important message to deliver.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll make sure it goes on my Twitter at least, so people who are listening to this, definitely stay tuned and you'll definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, no, please, and I would really appreciate anyone who listened to it. I really, really would appreciate it, just because, I think it's quite serious for me, and I've put quite a bit of thought into it. I spent quite a few hours writing a script out so I can actually, have a coherent thing to talk about and not just ramble for too much. So, it's going to be one of my more thought out and mature videos I'll upload.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, guys, after going on a darker topic, what are you looking forward to this week?
Titanfall. Who said that? Who said Titanfall? I think I'll be playing Titanfall, Sam. Just possibly.
That maybe after this podcast, just one game, just to, I think we do need to test the server.
What's that? You mean playing till 1 o'clock in the morning? Oh, go on then.
Okay. How about you, Harley? What you got going on this week? What you got uploading?
I'm as I said before, I'm looking forward to the Elder Scrolls Online and Titanfall, because I think you guys are finally just going to break me and force me to get it.
Yeah, probably.
Because I'm just hoping it'll run on my computer. Really, because I can turn the resolution and everything down, but I don't exactly get good frames per second. Need to upgrade. But I'll try it. What's the worst that could happen? It's only like $60.
Yeah, your PC could explode.
Well, thank you for reminding me of that, and putting that worry in my mind. But
it's all right.
Yeah.
Anytime, bud. But no, what else this week I'm gonna play? I'm actually getting back into Minecraft. I've teamed up with another YouTuber called The Frustrated Gamer, and he wants to play a lot of Minecraft. So I might be playing quite a few games with him.
Oh yeah. I have my own server now, so just a heads up. I think I may have mentioned this in the last one. Sam, Ed, and we're going to also be playing some Minecraft, hopefully.
Oh, it'll be fantastic. Yeah, please.
I hope so.
Good.
I haven't been on it in a long time, so I definitely hope to get back into it.
Because you'll need, Sam, you'll need to take a break from being so amazing at Titanfall. You'll need to just come back down to Earth. You'll need to fall back down to Earth and join us mortals.
So yeah, definitely. Shortly, whenever it comes out, I'm not sure on the exact date, but I know Infamous is coming out, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I don't know. Really, it's that I really enjoy superpower games. So
I played the first Infamous, and I didn't really like it that much. But everybody likes different things. I've never been one for the whole superhero thing. Superpowers and stuff.
But that's all what my name is. Samif Man is I used to get called Samif by a girl in school, and man is just because Superman, Spider-Man. I'm the Samif Man. So
Sam, what would your superpower be? What's your superpower?
Well,
flappiness.
It would be
flappiness, yes. So what would it be?
Being epic at games, so I'm sure that's already happened, so I'm pretty much a happy man. No modesty on this podcast, guys.
No, not at all, not at all. Yeah. But no, okay, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. It sounds like a good week we've got planned. I look forward to it.
Cool, guys. So where can we find everyone? Ed, where's your new channel at?
youtube.com/user/The Edrickson.
And there'll be a link in the description. Mr. McDaniels, where we
you can find me on YouTube at Harley McDaniel, or on Twitter as Harley McDaniel 1. So that's straightforward right there.
So guys, you know me, I'm YouTube / the Sam If Man. You're on my page now, just click the likes, click the subs, and definitely go and check them two guys out. It's been a great podcast, a little bit long, a little bit enjoyable. Hope you've enjoyed listening to it as much as we've enjoyed making it. See you later, guys.